Okay, in this short video I'm going to quickly show you how to use some more advanced features in Python that you can try in class. I've opened up the shell. I'm just going to go to File, New Window, which you're familiar with, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a comment in here, hashtag, and I'm going to call this Ghost Game. Now if you remember, any of these comments are not read by Python, they're simply for human eyes only, and they're just like little notes that you can use to help yourself when you write a program, just so you know what you did. The first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to From Random, and I'm going to import a module. And the module I'm going to import is the random integer module, which will allow me to use random numbers in this program. Okay, so it's the random module, and I'm importing the random integer function. Sorry. And the first thing I'll do is I'll say print, and I'm going to have some sort of a speech thing here. We'll say print, and we'll call it Ghost Game, I think. Ghost Game. And if you want to get clever and do all sorts of little sort of images using punctuation marks, that's up to you. I know some people did that last year. And the first thing we'll do now is set a feeling brave. And I'm going to set this, whoops, to true. Like so. Okay. Let's have a look now. So, score equals 0. Let's create a variable now. Score offset to 0. Now I'm going to include a loop. So while feeling underscore brave, while feeling brave, not forgetting the colon, of course. Notice how it indents for me as well for the next block of code. Let's use the random integer function now. So let's say ghost door. Let's set that to a random integer. And let's set it to something between 1 and 3, like so. Okay. We will also then print. Let's print something like 3 doors ahead. 3 doors ahead. We could just maybe put, I suppose, ... just to make it look like somebody speaking. Print 3 doors ahead. Let's say the ghost behind one. So print a ghost behind one. Whoops. Oh, crikey. ... There we go. Speech marks. We'll say now, which door do you open? So print, let's say, which door do you open? Like so. And now what we'll do is we'll create another variable now. We'll call it door, and we will set it to user input. So, raw input. Raw input. Oops. 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So let's think speech. 1, 2. Or 3. Oops. So I'm going to capture some raw input from the user, and I'm going to store that input in a variable called door, and the prompt that will appear on the screen will be 1, 2, or 3. Actually, I'll put a question mark there to make it grammatically correct. Okay, good. Next. Ooh, let's put that bracket back in. Now, let's say, let's make another variable now. We'll call it door number. And what we'll say is it equals, and this is where we're going to draw again on the random integer. Let's go for it. Let's set it to an integer door, like so. Okay, brilliant. So we're setting a variable now called door num, and we're going to set it to whatever's stored in door, and we're also going to we've told it that to expect it to be an integer. So Python knows by the int that this will be treated as an integer. Okay. Let's think. If door num is the equivalent, or is equal to, remember 2 equal signs, if it's equal to ghost door, let's think it's equal to ghost door, what should we do? Let's print ghosts exclamation mark. Okay, quite like that. And then we will actually end the program. So it'll be feeling brave equals false. So feeling underscore brave false, like so, because at that point that's when we want to break out this loop. Now I'm just going to have to tab back now for the else part of the column, the else part of the code. So else, what should we do if that condition is not met? Well, we'll print no ghost, no ghost here, exclamation mark, speech marks. Okay, and then we'll say, let's say print you enter the next room, and you can change these strings of text if you wish. You enter the next room. You don't even have to do a ghost adventure, you could do whatever sort of story you wish, I guess. Print you enter the next room, and then what we'll do is we'll set the score variable, so score equals score, and what we'll do is we'll increment that value by 1. And if I just space this out a little bit for you, what I'll just do now, I'm just going to finish the program off. If I just tab back over to the end, what I'm going to do is just print something like runaway, exclamation mark, speech marks, like so, and we'll finish the game at this point as well. So print, print game over, game over, you scored, scored, and at this point we need to comma, because now we want to print whatever was in the score variable. So there we've got ourselves a little game that uses a while loop. Let's just quickly run through it. So we import the random module and we use the random integer feature within that. We then print ghost game for the title of the game. We set feeling brave to true, and then we set the score to 0, and then we have our while loop here. So while feeling brave, in other words whilst it's true, what we're going to do is we're going to print 3 doors ahead. Sorry, we've set the ghost door variable to a random integer between 1 and 3, so that's where we get the randomness from. We have 3 lines of code that, 3 lines of text that print out. We set a variable called door to raw input, either 1, 2 or 3 is the prompt that appears on the screen, so the user at that point enters one of those numbers. So what we're saying here is door number, we've created another variable now, equals an integer that's stored in door. If door number is the equivalent to ghost door, in other words if the two match, if the number you choose and the number that's stored as the random one matches, we print ghost, we end the loop, and then we'll come to this last bit of code here that print runaway, game over, you scored, no score. Otherwise we'll just keep on going and we'll increment the score. Every time you don't choose a ghost in the room, we will add 1 to this score variable, okay? And at the end we'll print out, because eventually you will get there, we will have a final score for you. Let's save this now. So file, save as, I'm just going to save it in my 9C Python folder for now. I'm going to call it ghost game. Don't forget the .py file extension. I'm going to click save, and now let's see if it runs. So run module, a ghost game, 3 doors ahead. Which one do you choose? Let's go for number 1. No ghost there. Let's try 2. Let's try 3. There was the ghost behind door 3, and you can see now I scored 2 points, okay, because 2 times I managed to open it. Right, fantastic. So off you go and try that yourself. Maybe you could try adding some more text in there at different points in the game. Maybe you could change the amount you score, your choice.